Yo guys, Ames here, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make some more money on Hypixel Skyblock. So, recently we have had the mayor, Diana, come out, and she is known to make a lot of money for things like the Chimera book, and also multiple other drops you can get from her, which sell for a lot of coins. Most of these rich players or YouTubers that you see online will tend to do the Diana event to make hundreds of millions of coins from it. But not everyone is that rich. So, today I'm going to be showing you how you can make millions off of the Diana event with something like a 700k to maybe, or even like a 200k setup if you don't have it and you are broke to the point where you only have that much money. And with this setup, you'll be able to make millions off the Diana event per hour. So, for anyone who doesn't know how the Diana event works, this basically what happens is Diana hosts a mythological ritual that happens throughout the whole of the time that she is out. While Diana is out, you'll be able to use something that is called the Ancestral Spade. I don't actually have it on me right now, I have no clue why. But she has a thing called the Ancestral Spade, which basically when you right click it, it will bring you over to a spot. And then once you use it, if you use this to dig up this spot, then you'll get a reward from it. But sometimes a mob will come out of it, and then you'll have to kill it. And these drops that you get from these, and also the mobs that spawn from these, scale the higher rarity of petters. So for me, for example, has a griffin pet. Level doesn't matter, but it's all about the rarity of the pet. So for me, who has an epic griffin pet, if I was to do that, I would get decently hard mobs, but not ones that would kill me in, let's say, full shadow, not like 3/4 shadow assassin and like a livid dagger. But if you were to be someone that would use a common griffin pet like this, then you wouldn't really take much damage at all, because the mobs that you'd be facing up against would be extremely weak. So using this, you're able to abuse that to be able to do the mythological event and get one specific item multiple times. There is a thing that you can sell to the bazaar called the Griffin Feather. You get this pretty commonly from doing the mythological in the third and fourth drops. And you can get up to two, I'm pretty sure. Two Griffin Feathers from one kind of round, which is 4 dig ups. And you can, and if you're able to get 2 from one every single time, you'd be able to make 100k per one that you do. And depending on what setup you have, you could do these relatively fast, which is why it's such a good money making method. So for anyone who doesn't really know Skyblock very well, you'll be able to find Mayor Diana right here. So when you spawn in, you'll see this little shack down here, walk in here, and while Mayor Diana is out, she'll be here. You'll be able to buy for 5,000 coins of 32 golden ingots, and for 25k coins, you can buy the Griffin Pet and the Ancestral Spade. You can obviously buy these individually, it's not like some sort of bundle, but so it would cost you a total of about 30k coins to be able to get these two, which is the minimum requirement that you need for this, because you need a Griffin Pet to be able to kill the mobs, and then you also need the Ancestral Spade to be able to find the Burrows. So with these two, you'll be able to do them, but then the mobs will most likely kill you if you're completely naked, unless you're at a certain level where, like, you've done Fairy Souls and you have high skills, so you have, like, good health and defense just without any armor on. So the whole idea is to just get a somewhat okay armor set and sword, where hopefully you can kill these mobs that have about 2,000 HP. Every so often you may have one where 2 cats spawn and they have about 30k health, but as long as you make sure you don't die, you should be fine. If you do die, then they'll just despawn, and then you just have to start the burrows again. But it doesn't really do much, and it's not like it cuts down loads of time. So anyway, I'm going to go get back on track to what I was going to do. So pretty much, what I want to test is to see if you can use a cheap set to be able to do this money making method. Just to prove. So, if I take a set like this, a mercenary set, which costs a total of about 200k coins for all of this. About 200k coins. Maybe it's a bit more, but I don't know. To get the full armor set and the weapon. Now, obviously, this isn't like a requirement if you're doing this. If you have a better armor set than this, or you have a better weapon, then don't bother buying it. But this is kind of the base set that I'll be using to demonstrate what I'm about to show you. So now I have put on the armor. I went to go and give it just a couple of enchantments. But these are very basic. I just got growth 5 on all of them, which honestly is very cheap. It's about 50 levels per piece, which is a total of 200 levels. You can get that pretty quickly. As long as you do level 50, then enchant one piece, and then keep doing that until you have it all. And then I got just a couple of enchantments on this. This is kind of very base. Most people that are at this point of Skyblock, where they want to start making millions of coins, will have a better set than this. But this is just kind of the base that I want to use to show you guys how easy this is. Now, obviously, when I do this test, I will most likely have a higher level than you if you're using an armor set like this. So, for example, I have Combat 32. My Fairy Souls are done. I have Talismans, kind of, sort of. They're not very good, but whatever. So, I will do more damage than you. Now, also, by the way, with this set, I will be using a God Pot, as you can see here. They normally go on the auction house for about 580, they're normally about 500 to 600k. They sometimes drop to about 450, but that's not, it happens kind of often, but not too much. I would recommend using that for this because it gives you the extra speed, but if you don't have it, it's fine. It will just be a lot slower because you don't have much speed. If you don't need an armor set like this, I would recommend using something like Young Dragon armor, just simply, but not because you're not going to be killing anyone strong. So Young Dragon armor is kind of like, you wouldn't need anything higher to kill them. So using Young Dragon armor just tries to maximize the amount of speed that you can use with this armor set. So anyway, what I'm going to do now to test this is I'm going to do 10 minutes of the Burrows to see how fast I can kill them, do that to see if I can actually survive, and then see how much money I make from 10 minutes, and then I'll times that by 6, and that'll be the hourly rate for, I'd say, with a God Pot, about a 700k setup, 750k if you count, 730k if you count like the Griffin pet. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, and I'll talk to you guys once this 10 minutes are over. So now, very quickly, I'm going to show you guys how all of this works. So, first of all, obviously, use the Ancestral Spade right here with your Griffin pet out. Make sure it is a common one for this money-making method, and you have to have it out. By the way, if you have changed it, so if you equip it in a lobby, I would recommend you to swap lobbies, because then when you try and do it, it will most likely end up registering that you've done it like without a pet. I think it's a bug, but it happens to me a lot, so I just recommend like swapping lobbies, or maybe even like disconnecting, reconnecting from Skyblock, and yeah, and then you can go do it. So anyway, what you got to do is you right click with this out. It will then show up some sort of like pattern. Oh, by the way, you need to make sure that you have animations turned on when you do this, so that you can see everything. And then you right click it. It will play a sound to show how close it is. And then if I was to right click right here, I'd see that it's right here. I click on it, and then this will pop up. Every time you click the first one, when it's 1 out of 4, this will always show up. But then, obviously, you'll do it again. It will lead you to a place. Now, most of the time, these will either be in like basically the 4 corners of the map. That corner that I was just at, this corner where the graveyard is, and then that corner all the way down there, and then that corner all the way down there. They kind of spawn in that area, away from the central village. And that's kind of where you'll always find them, so use that as your reference. Now, when I go... Oh, why did I go through that? Now, when I do this, obviously, once I find the burrow, I will then break the second one, and then it will then be number 2. So, obviously, it's right here. Click on it. Minos Hunter. One shot. With a setup like this, I was able to one-shot it with 4 enchantments and this armor set non-reforged. This is non-reforged. And I was able to one-shot it. You should obviously reforge your armor for extra stats, but this is absolutely as base as it can get. And with that alone, that already proves that you can survive with this setup. Now, obviously, ideally you would want to use a setup better than this, because if you do get the cats, you would struggle to kill them. But obviously this is the base that I'm using, and most that are doing this to make millions will end up having a better setup than this anyway. So if you are using this up, it's not too much of a big deal. You have to be careful so that you don't lose your god pot effect if you are using one, because if you die with your god pot on, you will lose it, and if you lose it, you'll become a lot slower and things will become more difficult for you. Now, as you can see there, I've already gotten a griffin feather, so that's basically how it goes. Now, every time you do something, so for example, after you kill a mob, once you dig it up, you'll have to go back to the mob, to the thing that you killed, and then you'll have to re-dig it up just to make sure that you get the next one, which is so that it progresses. So that's a kind of, the 3 out of 4 is a mixed chance between getting a mob drop and a drop, like an item drop. And obviously I got the item drop, which is a griffin feather, which is how you max out your chance of getting 2 griffin feathers in one run, because when you do this, you'll, on the 4th one, get a guaranteed item, which could very easily be a griffin feather because they're very common. And since they sell for about 50k each, just from one alone, you will make 100k. And as you can see, it's only taken me a couple minutes with a setup like this, with a young setup, and also if maybe they were just a little bit closer to each other, and I wasn't waffling, so I was concentrating more, then I would do it even faster, and I'd be able to start doing these a lot quicker than what I'm doing them at right now. So obviously setup does matter when you're doing this, but it isn't extremely important. As you can see, you can sometimes get things like just coins, but most likely it's not often that you'll do one without getting a griffin feather. Most of the time you'll always get one from doing a 4 out of 4. So if I was to click on this one again, oh it's already done, never mind. There you go, that's 4 out of 4, a guaranteed drop, which could either be coins or an item. And most of the time, if you get an item, it will be griffin feather, which I'm actually pretty sure with a common griffin, it will only be griffin feather. So anyway, that's how you do the griffin burrows. You just basically keep doing that, using this to navigate your way over to them. But anyway, I'm going to sell this one, and then I'm going to start a 10-minute timer to see how much money I can make off just 10 minutes. So anyway, I'll see you on the other side of these 10 minutes now. So guys, I have now done just over 10 minutes. I did go just a little bit over because I got interrupted in the middle of it while I was doing it, and then also like I kind of had like just a brain freeze midway through where it spawned like in the cave down there, and I didn't realize it was a spot, so I was just running around the mountain, not finding it, and that wasted like a good minute or two. So I was just like, well, most people won't ever have that situation happen, especially if you know now that they can spawn in that spot, so be careful. That I might as well just finish off the one that I was doing, midway through doing, to finish it all off. And with a setup like this, when you get the cats, which I did get pretty unlucky, I got them quite a few times. I actually got the cats more than the hunters, which is actually very unlucky. But I could kill them. They're a little bit annoying. At one time, I got so unlucky that not only did I not get any griffin feathers on one of my things, I also didn't get any 2s, and I also, on one of my ones, I got a runic cat, which I had to kill with my livid dagger because it would have taken so long to kill it. So yeah, that's just everything that happened basically, and with that I have made 4 griffin feathers. And with these 4 griffin feathers, with a setup that isn't even optimal for this, I've made 184k. And if you're at a good point where it's from about 50k, and it makes it easier for me to calculate, it would be about 200k that you'd make from 4 griffin feathers. With that, if you times that by 6, that is 1.2 mil. With a setup like this, not even the most optimal one to use for both killing the cats, because I wasted quite a bit of time on doing that, and also with a setup that isn't even good for speed. I mean, I have with this setup 293 speed. I'm not even breaking 300. While with my young set, I am breaking 400. I've got 440 speed, which is a lot faster. I am able to make 1.2 mil per hour with getting unlucky as well. Which means that you can most likely get even up to like nearly 2 mil an hour with an actually decent setup. And considering how you can make that much money off of something that takes no really required stuff for it, yeah, you'll need like an okay armor setup, but there's not much you need before it. There's no previous grinding you need to do before it, like farming or something, where you have to get stats for it. You don't like previous stats like skills up and stuff. You don't really need that for this specific one. So it's a very quick and easy method that you can do that can make you millions of coins during the Diana event. Please make sure to hit the like button, and also if you do enjoy my videos, please make sure you subscribe. If you check the previous video before this one, it was actually 3 ways to make millions in Hypixel Skyblock. So you should probably go check them out. This is one specifically for the Diana mail while it's out, but you can go and check out the other video, which is just general money making methods that you can do, which is very useful and you can make a lot of money with them. So I recommend you go check that one out. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, like and subscribe, and goodbye.